Hi, this is Tutor Nick P, and this is lesson 223. Today we're going to do more abbreviations, uses, and meanings. Yeah, I've done a number before. I went over the most common ones, but still many more that's pretty common that students always have difficulty with. So we're continuing here. All right, let's look at the first one. DC, probably mostly come across DC. DC is with, Washington, D.C. Now, D.C. stands for District of Columbia. Washington, D.C. is actually not a state. They originally made it an area that's not a state because they didn't want to give any preference to a state. So that's why it's Washington, D.C. We do have another state in the U.S. that's actually just Washington. But Washington, D.C. is actually not a state. So it really doesn't have any senators. I think it's only in recent years that it even gave it a representative because, just due to the population that's there. Okay, anyway, let's take a look at the example. The White House is located in Washington, D.C. So if you ever wondered what that D.C. stands for, now you know. Okay, DIV or division. Okay. The military is sending its 22nd Division overseas to the Middle East. Yeah, so we might see DIV standing for division. I think it could be read either way. It could be either read as like a div or DIV. All right, let's look at the next one. DIY. Now, DIY, we actually do read it as DIY. We don't try to pronounce it. But of course, DIY stands for do-it-yourself. Maybe some people will just read it as do-it-yourself when they see the DIY. This abbreviation is used in reference for creating something, fixing things, or repairing things on your own or by yourself. So you are literally doing it yourself. Let's look at the example here. The Swedish company IKEA sells a lot of DIY products. Yeah, so there's a lot of products there that you can buy and you got to take it home and put it together yourself. I think they do offer a service in case you're really bad at this, maybe somebody, or simply just to save you time. You pay a little extra and the person they have delivered usually will put it together too. Also, a lot of bookstores in recent years in the U.S. had a DIY section because it started to become popular that people bought books that were do-it-yourself, that taught you how to do things on your own or create things or fix things on your own. Okay, let's look at the next one. DJ, of course, literally, that is the letters, DJ. DJ stands for disc jockey, or sometimes you can find an informal way of writing DJ as DJ, D-E-E-J-A-Y, DJ. You could find that way too. Let's look at the example. That DJ plays a lot of upbeat music on the dance floor. Yeah, so if you go to a nightclub or a discotheque and there's somebody there that's controlling the music for the people to dance to, that is a DJ. We also use DJ for the radio stations, that especially ones that play like pop music or any sort of music like that where they're introducing the music, they're introducing the songs. They might even be talking about the songwriters or the artists. That person is a DJ also. So DJ, two very common uses of DJ. The one in the radio station and the one in the nightclub that controls the music. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one is DOA. DOA stands for dead on arrival. All right, not very pleasant. This term is used to express that by the time someone has arrived at a hospital, they were already dead. So the ambulance is bringing someone and they're trying to rush, but by the time they got there, nothing for the hospital to do. It's already gone. It's too late. So we say somebody was dead on arrival. Okay, good. Let's look at the example. That ambulance tried to rush, but by the time they arrived, the patient was already DOA. That's the way they say it. When he got to the hospital, it was DOA already. All right, and let's look at the last one we're going to cover today. DMV. We hear this a lot within the U.S. Stands for Department of Motor Vehicles. So let's look at the example. I need to go to the DMV to renew my driver's license. Yeah. Remember, in the U.S., that is still the main form of identification. So, to be honest, probably most people do actually have a driver's license. But even if you didn't have a driver's license, you can go to the DMV and actually just get a license that's not a driver's license that could be used as a kind of like an ID card or a picture ID. Because, sometimes when you're doing things, somebody wants you to produce a picture ID. And in the US, this is still the main form of the picture ID. We don't actually have ID cards, but this is the closest thing that we have to an ID card in the US. So the DMV is the one that handles that. I think they might even, in some places, like register you for voting as well. Okay, good. Well, I hope it's clear. I hope you got it. I hope it was informative. Thank you for your time. Bye-bye.